Hey there, CGMS students. Welcome to Notes 3.14. Today we'll learn about simple interest. If Carl just turned 13 and is now old enough to open a savings account, previously he decided to use his piggy bank, just kept it at home. Now he's deciding, okay, what are the advantages or disadvantages of getting a savings account? So for the savings account, big time thing is that it earns interest, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It's like extra money for you giving the bank your money. A negative, so that's a plus, but a negative is it's harder to get the money because you have to actually go to the bank and you have to be patient. For your piggy bank, positive is it's easy to get your money. It's at home. Right, it's right in your room, but it's just sitting there. It earns no interest, so therefore it doesn't grow. So this idea of interest, simple interest, is earned only on the principal or the original amount of money that you give the bank, and it is earned over a period of time that is written as a percentage. So we have a interest equation here. It says interest is equal to P times R times T. So I is equal to the interest you earn. P is the principal or the original amount of money that you decide to put in the bank. R is for the rate of interest that they give you. And this is important. It's always written as a decimal. And then T is the amount of time that you leave it there. So it says use the simple interest formula, this I equals PRT, to determine the amount of interest earned. Then find the total value of the account, assuming no other deposits or withdrawals remain. So if I give the bank $900, a $900 deposit, and I leave it there for 20 years at a simple interest rate of 4%, how much interest will I get? Well, your interest is equal to your principal times your rate times your time, right? So interest is equal to, your principal is $900. So 900 times your rate of 4%, so times 0.04, and then times the amount of time, which was 20 years, so times 20 years. So again, principal 900, rate was 4%, so 0.04, time 20 years, right? Multiply those numbers together straight across, you'll get $720, right? So for giving the bank $900 and waiting 20 years and doing nothing with it, you'll get an extra $700, $720. So for the total value, all you have to do is add your principal, $900, plus your interest together to figure out how much money you'll now have in your bank account, and that will be $1,620, right? Just 900 plus 720. Okay. I will allow you to do number 2 on your own. So you're using the same exact formula. I equals principal times the rate times the time, and your principal in this case is 5,600. Your rate in this case is 3%, and your time in this case is 45 years. So you figure out the interest and then figure out the total value. Right, number 3, it says Danielle borrows $2,500 from the bank at 6% simple interest and does it for 5 years. How much is Danielle going to pay in interest? So interest is equal to principal times the rate times the time. She decided to borrow $2,500, so that's your principal. She did it at a rate of 6%, so that is your rate times 0.06 as a decimal, right? And she borrowed it for 5 years. And that's your time, so times 5. So your interest is simply going to be equal to your principal times your rate times your time. When you multiply these 3 numbers together, you're going to get your interest of $750. So not only is Danielle going to have to pay back the bank $2,500, she's also going to have to pay them an additional $750. Why? Because the convenience of borrowing all that money right now, right? The bank says, hey, you need money? I got it. Here you go. You're going to pay me back that money, but because I was able to give it to you right away, you go ahead and pay me back interest. Okay, I'm going to allow you to do number 4 on your own. Remember, it's interest equals principal times your rate as a decimal times time. Your principal here is 6,000. Your rate here is 7%. And then it says your time at the end of 6 months. So we always do time in years. So 6 months is going to be half of a year, so 0.5, right? I'll let you figure that one out on your own.